What's up, fight fans? This is a big one. It keeps coming back. I keep coming back to these Islam Makhachev fights, but UFC 330. This is a big fight, especially for GOAT status, welterweight. You know, the rankings like that. It's awesome. It's great. Now, how do I even explain this one? I wouldn't say, it doesn't feel like a 50-50. It feels more of like a stretch to reach out to who's going to win. Now, I've definitively made an answer. I'm 100%, I'm pretty sure. I just don't see one guy winning. I don't want to explain why, but first we're going to go through our stats. You know, I made a prediction video where I didn't talk about the stats, and my takes just didn't really make any sense without the stats. Okay, so first, you know, we're going to talk about skills straight up, IQ. This one, very important, and I have an example of it. I think Ian Gary has a better fight IQ. Now, are they both intelligent people? I think so. I think Ian Gary and Islam Makhachev are very smart people, you know, in the cage and out of, right? Maybe not Ian Gary. I mean, given the things Ian Gary, let's just keep it the fight IQ, alright? Because Ian Gary's not that smart, if you know what I mean. But, I think when you look at these people's fights, right? I watched these guys' last two fights. Ian Gary shows a lot more adaptability mid-fight rather than making changes after the round is over. Now, I think that's much more valuable. It's a much more valuable skill to be able to adjust mid-fight than, you know, after you go to your corner and all that. Because when you look at these, when I watch these last two fights for each of them, you have Islam. He's listening for his coaches. His coaches are telling him stuff, right? When he goes back to the corner, it's, you know, it could be there's other guys telling him what he needs to improve on, and I get that, but that's just like every other fighter, right? Just maybe I would say Islam has above fighter IQ just because he has incredible like jump on potential. He's really good on subs. He'd catch you, but Ian Gary, you see that he doesn't need the coaches sometimes to just, you know, make adjustment. Here he can see things that are happening and he's like, okay, this isn't working, I'll do this instead, or I'll do this to stop this from happening again. Ian Gary does like mid-fight adjustments. I think that's way more valuable. So fight IQ, definitely going for Ian Gary. Boxing combinations and volume, I think this is equal. I think they're both pretty good at this. Counter boxing, this one's interesting. I would say Islam Makhachev. Islam, whatever. I think he's a better counter boxer. I just see him being more quicker to reactions. When I look back at that Pratos fight and the Bilal fight, Ian Gary really wasn't snapping back on people overthrowing. And Islam's really good at coming back, especially in that, the JDM fight and the JDM fight's a good one. It's a good example of how Islam's good at snapping back, where he goes, or like he'll throw a hook. He was really hitting JDM with that I think right hook, or it was like a check hook. But I count that as a better counter. The Ian Gary has better counters, like his boxing combinations for his counters are better, but he's more of a burst fighter. He fights in like little combination bursts. Now Islam, I think he has less like combinations that like are, you know, wild uppercut this and this, but he hits them more. He hits you with that hook, hits out with that cross more, or that jab. So definitely counterboxing, definitely going to Islam. On the feet defense, that one's difficult. I was watching that Carlos Pratos fight. Ian Gary gets hit a lot more than Islam, I would say. So I'm just say Islam's definitely the better on the feet boxer there. Kicks, Ian Gary definitely. Ian Gary. Not gonna go to that. We all know it. Knees, I'd say they're equal. I'd say they're equal on knees. Elbows, I think Ian Gary takes elbows. I've seen more of it, less from Islam. One the thing is when Islam needs to go for like his submission, he could elbow, but he gets them and then he submits them, so he just makes better choices. Distance management or entering the pocket. This one's interesting. I think Ian Gary's better because what was it, the protest fight? I like that one. I think he's just a lot better. Fakes and feints definitely. I think Islam's better at feinting. I've seen more feints from him in his last two fights than I did Ian. Head movement. Makachev doesn't really have great. It's weird head movement. He has very weird head movement. So I'd give it to. I don't really see Ian Gary slipping or doing anything like that a lot. So I'd definitely give head movement to Islam. Footwork. Ian Gary. We all know it. Ian Gary every time. Speed and reaction time. I'm giving that to. That's difficult because counterboxing. It's like Ian Gary has the chance to. I guess I think speed wise, this one's gonna be split. It is going to Islam Makhachev though, but it's like Ian's faster in general, but Islam's like he has better reaction time. Strike precision, definitely Ian Gary. Clinch. That's difficult. The clinch, I'm thinking. I think Islam will get him in the clinch. Judo. Definitely Islam. Wrestling, definitely Islam. BJJ, definitely Islam. I just see more submissions from him than Ian Gary. Ground and pound, definitely Islam Makhachev. Takedown defense. Takedown defense. As for Ian Gary, we haven't seen Islam really try to stifle a takedown. Submission defense. This one's neither one either. This one's equal, I would say. Now, physique stats, right? Raw strength, I'd have to give it to Islam. If you look at, so strength and their weight kind of like goes hand in hand sometimes. Ian Gary's weighing like 170 something. And Islam's, he's coming in at 180, I think, right? He doesn't cut a lot of weight. Islam is like 190. He was like 190 when he fought in lightweight. So I would, and regardless, we've seen more strength feats, like picking people up or, pulling people's hands away, making sure top pressure, making sure somebody's hands are on the mat and putting your body weight on them. I've seen more strength, in Islam than I would see examples with Ian Gary. KO power, I'm definitely giving it to Ian Gary. Now he's also a pitter-patter puncher, but he's more susceptible to knocking someone out than Islam is to with their hands, I would say. This is strictly like with hands, I think, power-wise. Reach, definitely Ian Gary. Islam has a 70-inch reach, which is kind of short for his stature. I think he's 5'10". Ian Gary is 6'2", 6'1", roughly around there, and has a 74-inch reach. Now that is kind of short for someone who's like 6'2", just a little. But the thing is, look who's fighting. Someone with a 70-inch reach. So he's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage. Height, like I said, Ian Gary's definitely taller. 6'2", 6'1". Islam's 5'10", which isn't too bad, but still it matters. Stamina and cardio, I think they're equal. We've both seen them go in 5 rounds, and none of them got really winded. I'm gonna say it's equal, but if you wanted to, you could probably switch it back to Islam, since Ian Gary's fight with Protez wasn't that great. Chin. The chin, I definitely got to give it to Ian Gary. Not that Islam has a bad chin, but my God, he got rocked hard by, what's his name? He got hit by Protez, I'm pretty sure, and then he got hit by Shavkat. Let's see, final prediction. And this is a stretch, and let me give it to you clear here. I think Islam is the greatest of all time currently, ever to do it. Best MMA fighter ever. But I think size matters, and I think that if Ian Gary can stay away, he can definitely win this. Now, the way I see him winning this is by a decision. I think Ian Gary will be too quick. He will be. The thing is, we've heard Islam. He said that he knows that he's gonna have to change up his style and chase instead of be on the back foot. Islam usually fights on the back foot, but this one Ian's also on the back foot. So if Ian's on the back foot rather than Islam, I think Ian's gonna get it done because it's a lot harder to shoot on someone moving backwards than moving forward. So that's an up for Ian. But he's just longer and he's taller. And we've seen that Islam has struggled with taller opponents. I know I said this with the JDM, and I know I said this with Moicano. But this is super, 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 super significant. This is a 4-inch difference. And I think it's what? A 4-inch difference in height as well. He's just way bigger than any opponent ever. And the thing is, I think his lanky stature might not matter with the weight distribution, whatever. Ian Gary's lighter than Islam, right? But I'm thinking that maybe it won't matter given that the fact that Ian Gary will be moving backwards. Now, I don't think it's. I think if it were to end in a, I mean Islam. These are the outcomes we have. We have Ian Gary by decision. We have Islam by submission, and then we have Ian Gary by TKO. I do not see Islam making it 5 rounds, tit for tatting Ian Gary. I don't see him outpointing him at all. How do you say it? Ian Gary, like I said, size matters. He's just way bigger, and that's very important. Especially because this is his biggest matchup, or his most difficult matchup. Everyone else he's dwarfed hard, like real hard. Even JDM. JDM was like an inch taller by a smidge, maybe 0.5. These people are obviously lying about their height. It's whatever, but Ian Gary's not gonna JDM out here. He's not gonna put his hands up in his face while someone shoots on him. I think Ian Gary's gonna keep long and lanky, like he does in every other fight, unlike JDM where he keeps his hands up sometimes, which he did majority of that Islam fight. Disappointing. God, JDM, what are you thinking? I think this is where Islam gets like outmatched point wise, but I think if he gets cornered, I think Islam will get. It depends on Ian, if Ian's gonna do that burst, right? Like I said, he does burst rather than countering. If he bursts, and I think that could catch Islam. But the thing is, I'm leaning more towards a Ian Gary decision win because Islam is so properly defensive on the feet. He rarely gets hit, and he's just really good at defending himself. Boxing, kicking range, he's really good at that. So I just see Ian Gary winning by decision more rather than TKO. And if Islam, I think Islam, it would have to be something like where like it'd have to be quick. I think where Islam takes him down and subs him, like maybe like a Hamzat Chimaev would, just a little slower, because there's a height change, right? But yep, that's it. Tell me what you guys think below. If this is if I'm insane or not. I think I'm a genius. I think Ian Gary's gonna get this done. I don't even like Ian Gary. But the thing is, it would be I like Islam. Drop my phone. I like Islam because he's the greatest fighter of all time, and also he's like the most likable Muslim out of them all. Although he doesn't fight a lot, which I don't like, which would be an upside for Ian Gary winning. We get to see more fights in the welterweight division. But oh my God! Imagine Ian Gary beats Islam Makhachev, the greatest fighter. It's funny because it's like a troll thing, right? But it's like listen, man. If I were to have one win, I'd have Ian Gary win. More fights, more stupid publicity for the UFC. It's great. It's great. It's wonderful.